Okay, let's see. It's still pretty loud. I didn't edit, it was not. I think safe bet is actually just to go under filters. Okay, come on. Let's do 1, 2. That's good. Yeah, this should be good. All that jazz. Okay, got that. That's that. And for today, we're going to rate Sedentary Lifestyle. Pretty much just to figure out what's in the uppity up. It's okay. Thanks, notifications. I should be. Exit this out. Move to. Nope. Okay. Seems that did something. Huh. Oh, welly. Oh, welly or welly. I'll get on to it. Right, hydrate. Alright. Without further ado, we always zoom it close. 60? 60 the best. Let's go to, 960. Let's see how that goes. Sedentary lifestyle. Also, let me change this. So you could get to see this picture. Alright. Now, to further ado, sedentary lifestyle. This article needs more medical references for verification or relies too heavily on primary sources. Yeah, actually it gives good feedback. Increases in sedentary behavior such as watching television are characterized of a sedentary lifestyle. Let me try to put in my voice. Increases in... Well, then again, I haven't practiced, the transatlantic accent? Increases in sedentary behaviors such as watching television are characteristic of a sedentary lifestyle. More practice, which is actually just some practice, goes a long way. Even actors have to press in an accent because what is it? Keanu Reeves in freaking one of the movies where he has a British accent, it was just atrocious, but he even admitted it was horrible because he really didn't have much time along with direction. So, yep, dude. Alright, a sedentary lifestyle is a type of lifestyle involving little or no physical activity. A person living a sedentary lifestyle is often sitting or lying down while engaged in an activity like reading, socializing, watching television, playing video games, or using a mobile phone/computer for much of the day. A sedentary lifestyle can potentially contribute to ill health and many preventable causes of death. Screen time is a modern term for the amount of time a person spends looking at a screen, such as a television, computer monitor, or mobile device. Excessive screen time is linked to negative health consequences. 3, 4, 5, 6. And it's just linking references. Contents 1 through 7. So 1 is definition, 2 is health effects, 3 is prevention, 4 is history, along with 5, 6, 7 are just resources. See also references, external links. So to further ado, definition. Sedentary behavior is not the same as physical inactivity. Sedentary behavior is defined as, quote, any waking behavior characterized by an energy expenditure less than or equal to 1.5 metabolic equivalents, METs, METs, while in the sitting, reclining, or lying posture, end quote. Spending most waking hours sitting does not necessarily mean that an individual is sedentary, though sitting and laying most frequently are sedentary behaviors. So here's something I realized. So whenever there's an ETS for this acronym, that would mean that people usually would read off this acronym would read it as a word instead of individual words. So METs, which is interesting because in English, and this is probably coming from my Spanish learning, is that S has a lower pitch, lower pitch than what it's supposed to be, in order to notice that it's not part of the word sentence. It's actually just a something people would pronounce, and that's how you know that it actually is not part of the word, and you have to read it as a word, this acronym, not by its letters itself. What I found fascinating is that it's different because other than it being lowercase, it is just an S, a smaller S than the regular lowercase s. So yeah, that is what is fascinating about that. Because as I put it, MET doesn't really pronounce, but that's, plus there's a pause. The S, yeah, that's interesting. English has that, and they pretty much adopted it with other languages, because the idea of acronyms came out around like the freaking ABC era, like 1930s. At least in the US, that's what I learned. FDR's New Deal created different agencies that have alphabet words in order to condense the words. So yeah, anywho, sedentary behavior enables less energy expenditure than active behavior. So let's see a big O. Big old picture of this. Sleep, sedentary behavior, light activity, moderate activity, vigorous activity. I have to say I am actually between the moderate and even light activity. Vigorous activity? Yeah. Thinking I'm gonna run for life. Or was it? I am running to get to the next bus stop, or I'll die. Pretty much that whole exercise where you have to reach or something, or you just automatically die. But just because you just have to encourage yourself. Strange. But apparently that's always the common joke. Health effects. Effects of a sedentary work life or lifestyle can be either direct or indirect. One of the most prominent direct effect of a sedentary lifestyle is an increased BMI. There's no S in BMI, which is body mass index. Body mass index is a value derived from the mass, weight, and the height of a person. So yeah. A lack of physical activity is one of the leading causes of preventable death worldwide. At least 300,000 premature deaths and 90 billion in direct healthcare costs are caused by obesity, sedentary lifestyle per year in the US alone. The risk is higher among those that that sit still more than 5 hours per day, it is shown to be a risk factor on its own, independent of hard exercise and BMI. People that sit still more than 4 hours per day have a 40% higher risk than those that sit fewer than 4 hours per day. However, those that exercise at least 4 hours per week are as healthy as those that sit fewer than 4 hours per day. Indirectly, an increased BMI due to a sedentary lifestyle can lead to decreased productivity and increased absenteeism. Absenteeism is a habitual pattern of absence from a duty or obligation without good reason. Generally, absenteeism is unplanned absences. Absenteeism has been viewed as an indirect indicator of poor individual performance, as well as a breach of implicit contract between employee and employer. Increase absenteeism from necessary activities like work. So yeah, it's just a way to live to be absent for most things, especially while working. Missing work and not being productive results in obvious short-term and long-term effects like less income and job security. A sedentary lifestyle and lack of physical activity can contribute to or be a risk factor for. Alright, let me read these bullet points after I drink some glorious H2O. Okay. Anxiety, cardiovascular disease, migraines, breast cancer, colon cancer, computer vision syndrome only for computers and tablets, depression, diabetes, gout, high blood pressure, lipid disorders, skin problems such as hair loss, mortality in adults, obesity, osteoporosis, sclerosis, spinal disc herniation, low back pain, herniation. Actually, I don't know how to pronounce it. No biggie. Let's see what this is. Okay. Herniation is an injury of cushioning and connective tissue between vertebrae, usually caused by excessive strain or trauma to the spine as a result of nagging pain or sensation in different parts of the body. A physical disability. The most conclusive diagnostic tool for disc herniation is MRI, and treatment may range from painkillers to surgery. Okay, so yeah, herniation, that's also, it sounds very similar to hernia, so I'll follow up with that. Okay, prevention. Adults and children spend long amounts of time sitting in the workplace and at school, which is why interventions have been focused in these two areas. Yeah, I just read this first. Come on. Okay. In the workplace, some workplaces have implemented exercise classes as lunch walking challenges among coworkers, or allowing employees to stand rather than sit at their desk during work. Workplace interventions such as alternative activity workstations, sit-stand desks, and promotion of stair use are among measures implemented to counter the harms of a sedentary workplace. A 2018 Rain review concluded that at present there is very low quality evidence that sit-stand desks can reduce sitting at work at the short term. Rewind. That sit-stand desks can reduce sitting at work at the short term. There is no evidence for other types of interventions. There is no high-quality evidence that such interventions provide long-term health benefits. Yeah, especially with the standing thing, which that's the reason why I'm also encouraging to actually move and step instead of me just doing jog like that. Oh shoot, I gotta get banned on Twitch. Help me! Is anyone there? I'm gonna get banned on Twitch! Well, this is what I'm gonna get banned for. In education, the majority of time children are in classroom, they are seated. 60% of the time, children who regularly engage in physical activity are most likely to become healthy adults. Children benefit both physically and mentally when they replace sedentary behavior with active behavior. Despite this knowledge, and due in part to an increase in sedentary behaviors, children have 8 fewer hours of free play each week than they children have. Yeah, I'm looking at OBS to see if everything's good. Oh yeah, so when it came to mouse, this mouse is actually running pretty great. It pauses now and then, but that's because of freaking power interference. Because it's a power supply. That's the thing with dogs and laptops. It's just and desktop setups. It's a freaking power supply. Oh yeah, what I've mitigated with OBS and freaking DaVinci is actually lower the settings so it won't process that much. It won't be taxing under my GPU and CPU. So yeah, and in turn, all my devices are running great, like this, while running. But you know, there still needs some tinkering to be done. So anywho, children have 8 fewer hours of free play each week than they did 20 years ago. Several studies have also, 20 years ago, that would be like around 2000. Or let's say this was added like a year or two. Now we'll refer to the late 90s. So, bam. Life sure is changing. Okay. Come on, gotcha. Several studies have examined the effects of adding height-adjusted standing desks to classrooms, which have reduced the time spent sitting. However, associating the reduction in sitting with health effects is challenging. In one study conducted on Australian school children, known as the Transform Us study, interventions reduced the amount of time children spent sitting in the classroom, which was associated with lower body mass index and waist circumference. The intervention used in the study included standing up desks and easels. The use of timers and sport and circus equipment in the classroom. Teachers also made lessons more active and added breaks to lessons to promote active time. In the US, another intervention for children in promoting the use of active transportation to and from school, such as through the Safe Routes to School program. I heard about this. Didn't know much about it though, or even knowing that's a program. So yeah, interesting. Oh yeah, also easels. I'm confident that it's easels. History. Over the last 100 years, there has been a large shift from manual labor jobs, e.g. farming, manufacturing, building, to office jobs, which is due. That sounds weird, rolling out of the tongue. To office jobs, which is due to many contributing factors, including globalization, outsourcing of jobs, and technological advances, specifically internet and computers. In 1960, there was a decline of jobs requiring moderate physical activity from 50% to 20%, and 1 in 2 Americans had a physically demanding job, while in 2011, this ratio was 1 in 5. From 1990 to 2016, there was a decrease of about 1/3 in manual labor jobs/employment. In 2008, the United States American National Health Interview Survey found that 36% of the adults were inactive, and 59% of the adult respondents never participated in vigorous physical activity lasting more than 10 minutes per week. According to a 2018 study, office-based workers typically spend 70 through 85% sitting, 37 reference, in the U.S. population. Prevalence of sitting watching television or videos at least 2 hours days, that's H/D, hours days, was high in 2015 through 2016, ranging from 59% to 65%. Estimated prevalence computer use outside school or work for at least 1 HD hours days increased from 2001 to 2016 from 43% to 56% for children, from 53% to 57% among adolescents, and from 29% to 50% for adults. An estimated total sitting time increased from 2007 AI 2007 to 2016 from 7.0 to 8.2 hours days among adolescents, and from 5.5 to 6.4 HD among adults. HD hours and days. Alrighty. And lastly, it's proposed resources like 9 to 5. Ooh, sloth, alcoholic references. There's always a lot of references versus like sources, but you know, that's the nature. References last longer than sources. Now, let me actually look through these. Yeah, exercise trends, that's where I came from. Child obesity, laziness, neurobiological effects of physical exercise, simple living, sloth, deadly sin. So, let me see what's the uppity up. Simple living. Simple living encompasses a number of different voluntary practices to support lifestyle. They include, for example, reducing one's possessions, generally referred to as minimalism, and increasing self-sufficiency. Okay. Yeah, this actually is focusing a lot more. Hey, look, it's Aristotle in his little cocoon. Also, he had his little homies. Okay, yeah, this is actually referring to under lifestyle. Which, yeah. Something definitely for another time. But for not another time, I probably want to go through just sloth on lack of physical education. Let me briefly rate sloth and then go to a lack of physical education. Sloth. Sloth is one of the 7 capital sins in Catholic teachings. It is the most difficult sin to define and credit as sin, since it refers to an assortment of ideas dating from antiquity and including mental, spiritual, pathological, and physical states. One definition is a habitual disinclination to exertion or laziness. Disinclination to exertion. That's an alternative way. A synonym. Well, it's an entire sentence that could just be a synonym for laziness. So pretty much, instead of just saying you're lazy, you're pretty much an individual that has disinclination to exertion. Disinclination. This is under deadly sentences. Very specific. Something for, I don't know. But this is related to physical education. Let me see what's up. There's a lot. Shoot. Causes. No, contents. Causes. 2. Consequences. 3. In Canada. Oh, man. 4 in the United States. 5 in China and Europe. Yeah, okay. Okay, let me just briefly talk over this. Lack of physical education is the inaccuracy of the provision and effectiveness of exercise and physical activity within modern education. When physical education fails to meet its goals of providing students with a knowledge base, life habits, and mindset necessary to be physically active throughout their lifetime, it can lead to children to adopt a sedentary lifestyle, according to the 2010 study from the WHO. 81% of children aged 11 through 17 worldwide did not meet the minimum recommended exercise guidelines of 60 minutes daily. Yeah, although more prevalent in countries in high income, physical activity is an international issue that is correlated with the obesity epidemic and negative psychological and academic consequences in children. I wonder why I kept on reading it as physiological than psychological. A high-quality physical education program consists of these attributes. Physical education teachers are certified. Students in elementary school has physical education classes for a minimum of 150 minutes per week, while students in high school have it for at least 225 minutes per week. Concrete and achievable standards for students to meet, often for high school graduation. Yep. And then you have these children having fun and stuff. Physical education class for secondary students in Havana, Cuba. Yeah, it's interesting seeing old 20th century or 1950s architecture with around like 2010 clothing, especially with excess apparels, because that's pretty much a 21st century thing. These clothing, these brands. That's something I'm interested with. Anyway, that was sedentary lifestyle. Besides that, my time is up. I discuss about it next time about this article. So, well, this wiki article. Anywho, see ya.